and welcome to episode insert number here of the We Rock podcast. Here we are. Today is March 1st. This is an almost important day for us. And when I say almost important day, if you don't live in Texas, you don't understand what tomorrow is.
Mm-hmm. Oh, 17. We're on 17. Had to look it up.
We're on 17. So I'll go ahead and preface. Hey, man, happy Texas Independence Day.
Absolutely happy Texas Independence Day to you.
And we'll go ahead and tomorrow go ahead and blow out the candles for my favorite general of all time, General Sam Houston. It'll be his birthday. So he celebrates his birthday on Texas Independence Day.
Happy birthday, Sam.
Yep. I've never been able to decide if he is one of the greatest generals ever or he got lucky.
We're going to put him in the greatest category.
Okay. Because if you've ever been to San Jacinto and been down there, I think he stumbled into and got backed into a corner. But
a win is a win.
That's true. I'm pretty sure if I'd have had two cannons like the twin sisters, I could have got myself out of just about anything too.
Correct.
So we are, of course, for us, as we're in the high holy days of Texas history, which is great for us, and for the rest of y'all who get to travel along with us, then suck it up. So, and as we kind of continue on, we will remember lots of things. We will remember Goliad. We will remember the Alamo. And we will remember San Jacinto and the folly that happened there on April 21st. So it's good.
Oh, yeah. Be envious of our state.
Yeah. Yeah. We can fly our flag just high as we want.
That is correct.
So, like it or not.
Yeah. Well, what all of you had going on? Heard you had a trip you just came back from.
Man, we just came back from a trip to a little place. I don't know if you've ever heard of this place called San Diego.
What's the translation of that?
It means a whale's something. I don't really know.
Oh, your mic cut out.
Oh man, jeez. By the way, I did have some questions about that while I was out there at this convention. Your audio is really bad. I spilled the beans.
Audio quality.
I had to spill the beans. So they're like, oh, yeah, the mics were cutting out. I go, the mics didn't cut out. They're like, no. I said, no, I promise we have fixed the audio issues. The quality is good. The problem is that every once in a while you'll have a pause, and that's because somebody's opening something that makes a fizz sound when said item is opened.
Delicious ice cold Dr. Pepper.
Yeah. I like to prefer. I tend to call it liquid cereal. Look, it's not any different than like an Ensure, just not as thick. Am I wrong?
No.
You were mentally going. You were mentally going through the ingredients involved there and going, well, what's the protein level of this? It's all carbs, man. It's all carbs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I've tried to cut back on carbs so I can overload on carbs on the other side.
We always say, like, hey, there's a reason why in college it was the breakfast of champions, right?
The dog notion is BS.
I know a guy who ran out of milk once and he had Birrios.
That could not be good.
I didn't try it. It was not me. But if you want, I can have him on the podcast and he can explain it, but he's a lot more colorful than I am.
I mean, I've been hard up for some things before, but if I pour me a bowl of cereal and I walk over to the refrigerator and I open it up and go, "Dadgummit, no milk," I'm not going for the Coors Light next.
Would you
I'm either going to eat the cereal dry. I'm going to pour it back in the box.
Would you consider malt liquor instead? King Cobra. Oh man. So no, it was a good show. I got back. I flew out there Thursday. Got there in time for I guess it's president's reception. I don't ever. This was like the first time in a while that I haven't had responsibility at a convention, and so I really didn't have to pay for the pay attention to the schedule. But I tell you what was cool, and there were, I don't know if there's mixed feelings or not, and I'm going to probably catch some heck from our board on this. They had an app, and I don't remember what it's called because I've already deleted it because I don't keep apps on my phone very long. So, but they had an app for the convention that would let you know what was coming up. You could post pictures on there. You could actually comment on different things within it. But it worked really well. And I was rather pleased with it. So I played with it a lot because I was trying to see, can we use this for Southern? I think there are avenues in which we could, but I don't know how much it costs. So, but no, I mean, so that kind of let me know when to be where I needed to be, and I was able to see who all was going and know what, which of my vendors were going to be there, have access to their contact info. So I think it worked out well for the vendors too. They're able to see who's going to be there and have their contact info. So that was good. I will say, I went into the convention with probably a little trepidation because I wasn't sure what to expect.
Okay,
part of it's because it's been a number of years since I've been able to go, and then the other part because, frankly, there's been some things happening in the industry, right?
Yes.
So didn't know if that was going to overwhelm conversations or not. And so I just wasn't sure what to expect. When I got home, I sent Matt a text message and said, look, regardless of anything that was coming up or was in everybody's forefront or any of that, forget all that. They did a great job. They did a good job. It was a good convention. It was fun to be there. It's fun to be around folks I hadn't seen in a while. It was good to have like-minded people from all over the country talk and have those discussions about what we're dealing with. So, I don't know. Yeah, we had fun.
Good.
But they the education was good. There are a couple I didn't go to. I think that I just didn't think were going to fit necessarily what I had going on. There was, but I went to a few. I went to one on designing in front of the customer. I went to, so that one I discussed, they discussed using Memorial Designer and what is the other one? Monuvision.
Oh, yeah, Monuvision.
And trying to design, and they could have used, they only had 2 people doing it, so they couldn't do live in front of everybody that quick, but they had Heather Sturgill and Adam Longstreth both kind of sitting at different computers, and they were given a scenario and said, here, draw while we're sitting here talking at you. And I definitely sat there well enough to make it difficult as I was texting Adam in the middle of it and telling him how to fix his design and sending notes to Heather just to harass them. So they had their hands full, but right. They did a good job. It was a good,
well, after sitting through that, I imagine they took a poll of the people in attendance there. How many would you say design in front of a customer, and how many do not?
I sat up at the front and didn't look back, so I don't know. I wasn't anticipating Austin asking me that question.
There was no by round of applause. Show us how many.
No, yeah. My decibel meter was not pulled out or anything like that. So, the guys with the pure.
You could not get an accurate gauge of it.
No, but do you? I don't. Do you?
Yeah,
Look,
mostly,
now let me say,
mostly yes.
well, correct. So the proper statement is not that I won't or have not, but for the most part, I do not. Right, 99.9% of the time, I do not design in front of a customer. It's not a blanket statement that says I can never do it. It's just if you're going to ask me, am I going to do it? No, I'm not going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a preference.
Yeah.
And
I'm on the fence with it. If it's one of those that that it's going to be a pretty straightforward design, then yes, I have no issues with it. But if there's going to be some complexities to it, or especially if I'm going to have to get quotes on some specialized pieces, I will draw them something preliminary just to at least have something to put in their hands, so at least it can get them thinking on their end. And then that's whenever we start the back and forth through email. And that's where the really good designs actually come from.
Well, I agree. In fact, I have one that we just sent out today that it shouldn't have taken so long. And actually the more complicated design I had drawn up for another customer that didn't sell. And I go, no, this is where I'll need to use it. So I sent them a copy of that, as well as more of what they were asking for. And actually what they were asking for took me longer to produce, not because I was trying to mess it up I was actually trying to do a good job with it, but man, just trying to get everything to fit took me forever. So that was where I struggled. And it took me a couple of days to get that out. But, I just don't do well whenever somebody's standing there and it's going to be worse if you're asking me to do it right then. It's going to be what it is.
Gotcha.
So, and I will say, that was, so I'd asked Adam and Heather, they will draw in front of customers. They don't all the time. Adam will often draw in front of a customer. If I remember correctly, let me see if I remember how he said this. I think he said something that he will draw in front of a customer, but not usually. And a lot of times it's to give the idea or the general concept. And he did say specifically that he will tell them he wants to clean it up before Definitely they sign on things like this. And look, I agree with that. If I'm just going to slap something together, there's going to be some stuff that needs to be fixed. So, but it's kind of like this thing that you sent me that's slapped together today. This, actually, you sent me this design this morning, and I looked at it, and I'm going, man, just so that you know, I've already given it to Abby. She's sending it off to the copyright office with my name on it.
You will be getting a strongly worded letter in the mail.
Oh man, what am I supposed to do with that?
Yeah, from the law offices of Kazee and Kurz.
Do we cheat them and how? I'm gonna say, bring it, man. You do know whenever you do that, you got to sue me in Brazos County, right?
Well, I'll pack a lunch. I'll come down.
You cross that Red River. Come on down here and.
No. There is no crossing the Red River here. We are already south of the Red River here.
Is there not an avenue in which you've got to cross the river twice to get down this way?
I guess I could take the long way. I could go up into Oklahoma, drive over, and then hit 35, and then come down.
You see, there you go. So it is possible that you'd have to cross the Red River to get here.
It is possible. It's also possible I could drive to Chicago to get to College Station too, but that just ain't working.
So no, this is a really good design, and I'm not going to show it to everybody because, like I said, I've copywritten it. So it was something where trying to focus more on single plot designs for two family names or two names, and it's pretty good.
That's
we're seeing a lot more of that.
I drew up just sitting here at the computer, had caught up with a bit of my work one day and just wanted to put together a single plot idea. And 2 days later, there's a lady in here looking for something to go over a single plot. So I sent it over to Wes real quick. She looked at it, and that's the route we're going.
Yeah. Let's see if I'm going to share my screen here in a second, just so that you can see what I was drawing up this morning. Just for the heck of it, so the viewers get to hear us talking about it, and that's about the extent of it.
We'll describe it in great detail.
Yep. So this is in great detail. So this is the custom one that I kind of already had drawn up a little bit.
Totally changed my design.
It's the same thing. What are you talking about? Then there's a family name and given names and
There's
dates. What do you want?
There's a base. I mean,
I got a panel on there.
right.
So this is the one that took me a while to figure out how to do it. And you and I were texting back and forth about how horrible bluebonnets are because they just never look like bluebonnets.
It looks like a pine cone on a stick.
It looks like wheat.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's it in the other color.
Okay.
But let's see. Where's this is the other one that's kind of the same thing.
I like
So
that.
just for those who are, they're Navy themed monuments for those naval folks.
Looks like
who are curious.
riveted steel.
Yeah,
Looks good.
yeah. Just kind of a nice little concept for those naval folks. So just something a little different. That's what I've been kind of playing with. But no, so they did a good job. The design in front of the customer was good. The other one I went to listen to was on textures. And that was that was Trevor Howard out of Canada. I don't think he listens, so
America's hat.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy, and because he's Canadian, probably. And
Sorry.
I've got a photo of us hanging out late, so it's fine. He can. I'm gonna talk a mess. And then John Fainley talking about textures and how to use them and areas in which they're beneficial. So how to take a design and elevate it more by just simply using textures and different ways of producing the stone, which, for the handful of Southern Monument guys that were there, or if you're out there listening to this and you got a lot out of that, understand that Southern Monument Builders is going to have a very similar one with Dan Giroux out of New York. So Dan's coming to talk, and we're going to have him on the podcast before too long. But talk about doing design and using those textures. But not only is he going to do that, he's actually going to show how to use those textures. So he's going to bring some tools and bring some samples, and he's not going to actually function those designs there in the middle of the hotel in Grapevine, Texas.
I'd say send it.
Look, I can bring a compressor. We can run those die grinders.
Mm-hmm.
Or if we know somebody who's a blowhard enough, maybe they can blow through the hose and get it to spin.
There was one that comes to mind.
So no, I think
all respect.
So no, I think the convention was really good. See who else? There's one of Trevor's guys got up there and did a discussion on final dates and giving final dates in the cemetery, and was discussing like the process and how they do things. And one of the interesting deals was, and you'll love this, John Scott was very interested, because he's kind of moving that direction. And I had the realization about 90% of the way he's sitting in front of me, and I go, wait a minute. He's going to need litho.
Built a disturbance in the force.
We'll see. I hope he pulls it off and does it without and sticks to it, but we'll see how that works. I don't know. It's going to be a difficult one. So,
speaking of John Scott, the other day I was digging through a bunch of things and came across this. It's his original presentation on litho, textures, things like that.
Lighting. Yeah. Man, I tell you, that's a great. What I love about that is, regardless of where you are on the litho spectrum, litho hasn't been around forever.
No,
and he has the old way down pat. The old way of doing stuff he's got it down. Using the different aspects of grit and grain and pressure and stuff like that. And I say old, I guess it's not ancient, but it's older than any of us that are currently doing the work. Mm-hmm. So, and I enjoyed that education when he did that as well. So, but kudos to him for
definitely
all that.
So. Yeah, because his work will look the same a century from now.
Yeah. So, no, we did it. Went out there, had a great time. They were
didn't take any bus rides.
Do what?
Didn't take any bus rides.
No.
I heard there's a lot of buses in San Diego then.
Yeah, there was supposedly, but ironically, I felt like it was not as what's the proper term? Diverse as one would be led to believe. So, my favorite was, and you'll appreciate this. One night, and maybe Pruitt will correct me. Let's see. I think it was the Saturday night. I'm finishing up drinks, and I decided to go hang out in one of these. I call it I kind of tried to say it was a honky tonk. I don't think it's a honky tonk, but it's the only closest thing they've got to a country bar. And because it kind of feels like they tried to do country artwork to it, right?
Like, was it just a loop of Luke Bryan and Florida Georgia Line the entire time?
Yeah. I said something to somebody there. It was there one time. I said I said Jelly Roll's not country, and they go, "No, Jelly Roll's country." I go, "No. I think you misunderstood. Jelly Roll by personality can be country. Mm-hmm. His music is not country.
No, but it's not traditional country. I do like Jelly Roll, but it's not traditional country.
Not traditional country." So, anyways, we went to this place and I walked up to the bar and I decided I was going to order a beer. And they don't have out there that it's a lot of IPA stuff and none of the stuff that I drink. But I walked up to the bar and I go, "Well, what do they got that I'll actually drink? That's easy." And I said, so I said, "Hey, give me a Colorado Kool-Aid." And they said, "What?" I said, "What?" I said, "Can I get a Yellow Belly?" And the guy gives me this look. Like, what are you talking about?
If he still would have struck out on that, been like, "All right, give me a buckskin."
Well, you can do that, or you keep chasing it. And I was like, "Just give me a Coors." I'm like, "Come on, man." That officially told me it was not a honky tonk.
No. No, I mean, not to cast any hate or anything on our California friends, but I don't think honky tonks in California go hand in hand.
No, not at all. So,
yeah. Whenever Pat Green said, "Take me out to the dance hall," he wasn't talking about that one.
No, but I will say, it was great. There was a lot of vendors out there. Hey, shout out! I've got to do a shout out because I promised I would because I owe one individual, and there's going to be another one later. But Anchor Stencil, Clay Creech, you went above and beyond. You're awesome. You take care of us all the time, and not just whenever I'm there, but Clay Creech has come to save my rear end a number of times just when it comes to stencils. So I will say I'm a user of Anchor, and we've appreciated that product, and it's always done well for us. So
if you want the highest quality American-made stencil.
The biggest deal is that there's not the acrylic in it. It is your Mylar is Mylar. It's not that acrylic stuff that's in there or whatever. It sticks better and cuts better. Yeah. So shout out to Clay Creech. Thanks for helping us out. And that will be part of your sponsorship. But for real, I do use Anchor. That's not just a statement because Clay's a good guy. So we've had good luck with it. It's been helpful. Of course, I didn't run into the stencil problem. Everybody else did because I was ahead of the game on it.
Yeah, I bought Stencil at the right time.
Yes. Well, I may or may not have had somebody tell me about it early on, and it wasn't Clay; it was somebody else. But I confirmed it, and I ordered enough. Enough is a good term. So, but no, so it was some of that. I got to talking with him about what stats look like. They're not, they're. I got a lot out of analyzing metrics with other people that were there, and I don't think other people realize, but because you and I talk about this stuff often off the air, right, when we're not recording.
Mm-hmm.
Just stupid stuff that doesn't really get exciting, and that's because we like baseball this much. But talk metrics and those numbers and the things that drive our processes and businesses and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he confirmed what their research has been, which is that while we are seeing numbers, like we're seeing the rate of cremation go up, that is not going to impact what we do as monument guys, because the rate of cremation may be going up, but the population that we're drawing from for monuments is so high and so much higher than it has been in the past. We're still going to be selling rock. We're still going to be selling a lot of rock.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then on top of that, there's a number of people still getting out of the industry. So it kind of confirms some of the stuff you and I have talked about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's always going to be a market for the products that we provide. It's just we are going to have to alter our approach to it.
Yes. Yeah, but you got to do that all the time, right? I mean, it's when we were in the 80s, when Walmart was covered in brown outside, right?
Oh, yeah.
And everything was American made, and that was Sam Walton's thing and all that. And then all of a sudden people were getting stuff out of China, and Walmart had to compete. They had to adjust, right? So they did that for a long time. And then Amazon came along, and Walmart had to adjust again. And they've done a pretty decent job. I've actually gotten further away from buying on Amazon, and I'll go run over to Walmart or buy it online from Walmart if I need to or whatever. But things have changed, and you've got to ebb and flow with what's going on in the market. And if you're not learning, you're dying.
Correct.
So, but yeah, pretty good show. I was happy with it and happy with what we saw there, and those kind of things. So, enjoyed seeing everybody that I hadn't seen, seeing people I hadn't seen in a number of years. Enjoyed, of course, always the bar gets a bad rap because everybody just assumes everybody's getting blitzed. But man, some great conversations there at the bar, and talking to people about equipment and things, that how you process different things.
Now the bar, like you said, it's a tough one to bring up, because again, there's some people that as soon as they hear the word bar, they shut down on it. But It is the number one spot if you want to sit around and actually learn.
Mm-hmm.
That is where the conversation's going. Well,
look, I mean, if you have a hard time going, and vendors too, let's be really clear, right? It's not just retailers. We talked about this morning in the office because of I felt like I didn't see as many vendors down there this time as I have in the past. Mm-hmm. Vendors, if y'all are listening, make your way down to the bar, the hospitality room, if there is a hospitality room. I don't think we can do hospitality rooms in Texas anymore. But those kind of things, make your way down to those locations where everybody is in your off hours, right? Not your display hours. And I get it. They're not off hours. You're still kind of in that sales mode when you're there. Mm-hmm. It sucks because that's the way the things are. But truthfully, people learn more there than they do anywhere else in that show. Mm-hmm. Because they can be frank, they can get comfortable about what they're discussing. And if you're the one there helping them give them answers, you're going to get first bite at the apple. You know,
or if anything, it just gets your foot in the door with them.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's different because they don't feel like you're trying to be on. You're just there to chill out and relax and have conversations and hang out. I think you're going to be better off that way in the end. Some of the best relationships I've ever built have been at those conventions in the bar and doing different things like that. But
the first convention I ever went to, the one in Rockwall, the first place I met you was in the bar.
Oh,
during the daytime. Was it? During the daytime.
Oh, that sounds rough.
Well, you can't help but, like, of course, you know, the bar at that hotel is off in the corner right there. You have to walk past it.
You have to walk past it. You're going to see other people there. And you know, it's that hotel's really cool. And that's been a favorite since we've been going there. So I'm glad that's become more of a staple for us. So
yeah, it's always in the rotation.
I did talk to somebody. I think it was the MonuWorks guys recently about this next convention. I said, "All right, y'all got to come with us to the stockyards." They said, "What?" And I go, "Oh yeah, we're gonna go to the stockyards." I said, "I don't know. What are you talking about? You don't know what that is? We're gonna go. I'll tell you what. You get with us. We'll go get on there's a tram there, I think, right? Am I correct that there's a tram from the hotel to the stockyards? We're going to pretend like there is, because I feel like they said that there is.
Right.
And so when you do that, there's that it'll take you right down to the stockyards, which is where Billy Bob's is. We need to look up and see who's playing at Bob's Inn. This could change everything. Billy Bob's, Texas. Concerts and events. Okay.
And thankfully, since our convention is an open convention, it would give a lot of y'all that are not from Texas the opportunity to potentially hear some really good music.
Well, I'm fixing to find out. Let's see. I just filtered it.
That's why I said potentially. I wasn't guaranteeing anything.
Well, there's bull riding.
Well, there's always
see that. Oh, wait a minute. Oh no. Midland on Friday the 21st and on Saturday the 22nd.
Midland's good.
That's good music right there. And always there's dancing over there, but yeah, I mean that'll be fun. You can't go wrong. I've got several albums that were recorded at Billy Bob's.
Oh yeah.
So, but no, and you know, Thomas, I mean, some of the best steaks you're ever going to have. I mean, that's fresh. It's just been walked down the street. I mean, you order it the right way too, because you tell them, look, hey, just turn that steer around, wound it, and run it over here by the table. I'll take care of everything else. There's a line in Woody Harrelson says, and what is it? That's
oh yeah, it's in the cowboy way.
Cowboy way,
yeah. Knock its horns off, wipe its old nasty, and then slap it down on the plate. And then the other side of it, a line that I like to quote every now and then, is from King of the Hill. And seeing Hank and Bobby are out there grilling steaks, and he said, "Son, that's a perfect medium rare." And Bobby looks at him and says, "Dad, what do we do if somebody wants one well done?" "Well, son, what we do then is we politely yet firmly ask them to leave."
That's the truth.
It is.
Look, the best flavor you're going to get is if that thing's bleeding.
1,000%. It's counterproductive to pay good money for a good steak to turn it into a piece of beef jerky.
Exactly. And that's coming from a farmer. No, he didn't raise cows, but close enough.
I did.
Huh? Oh, you did? I didn't know.
Yeah.
I thought you did. Yeah. Okay.
No, shoot. We at our height, we ran about 1,000 head.
Dang. All right.
Yeah.
What's funny is I've got an ag degree, and I've never raised a cow. I've never fed a cow. I don't care.
Oh, really?
Not because like I have a problem with it. The opportunity has not presented itself, and my life did not go that direction.
Well, I think you need to start yourself a little side project.
Hey, look, I keep telling my wife that before we get dogs again, I want some of those miniature Highland cows. I just want to put them in the backyard.
My wife wants one so bad. And don't get me wrong, I think they're kind of cool, but I've already got 2 dogs, and I'm plenty good at the moment.
No, man.
If you want a cat, I'll give you a cat. I got more cats, and I know what to do with.
Well, yeah,
they're just outside cats. They're meant to keep mice away, which keeps snakes away. So
I'm not interested in cats, man. Just not. We've had an episode on that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not cool. I'm not cool like Perry and have a shop cat that is a
man. Between him and Julia up in Minnesota, that Julia's cat has his own Facebook following, Instagram page, and everything. Prince, what is it? Prince Naughty Naughty. So Julia, act like I don't know. We're close enough friends. I know. I've met Prince Naughty Naughty, and I've met General Sterling Price. I know these cats. Just still not a cat fan. Oh man. So I'm gonna get a dog and I'm gonna name him Rufus. And put him in the office. I don't know. But no, show was good. Wish you could have been there. Had a good time. Like I said, when I got back, I ended up sending Matt a text, told him, good job. Y'all actually did a really good job, and let them know that not. In fact, I'll go ahead and say it here. There's always going to be people that go, wow, this should have been done. That should have been done. They're not in those rooms making those decisions. One of the comments that was made to me is, until you're sitting in the middle of it, and you see this from our board, you don't understand how difficult it is to make and cut decisions based on budget when you're talking about food and other things like that and trying to make those decisions. You're not going to make everybody happy, but you got to make the most of what you got. And mad props and kudos to not only Matt, but that entire board for MBNA. They did a good job. They're getting ready to plan for Cleveland. So that's the next one for them. So.
Yep. That one will be a full display convention, right?
And that is my understanding.
Okay.
So, and that's that. Look, I'll say that was not sponsored. That's my own actual opinion. So that I was not paid to say that. Nobody bought me drinks for that either. But that is legit. I had a good time.
So if they would have bought you drinks, would you talk more about it?
No. I probably would have had a little bit more high praise, and I probably would have made less jokes about other things that were tongue in cheek between you and me. So, but no, okay. So I know we've already been on topic for a little bit, but real quick, I kind of want to have a general topic about something else. Since we just talked about cats, I want to call this "There's more than one way to skin a cat," and maybe we can get our friends who have the cats a little more animated about it than at this point.
That is the best segue you've had yet.
Man, that was almost Limbaugh-esque.
I mean, I thought I was hearing, from the Golden Mike for a moment.
From the EIB network. So, all right. So you and I talked about 2 weeks ago or something like that something has come up in we'll call it the book faceosphere. Something new has popped up that has started because somebody, it seems, and I could be wrong, it seems somebody got upset by something that was said somewhere. And I'll be the first to tell you, it wasn't something I said, whether you believe it or not.
Hard to believe it true.
But what that sparked is, and I don't believe that this particular instance had to do with getting upset over differences of opinion, but I've seen a lot of that kind of going on where people are getting animated over this is the way to do it and that's the way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, man, I want to know what ways everybody's doing things before I start calling it out and saying it's wrong. Let me analyze it for myself and start figuring things out. And so the problem is I think so many folks have gone, oh, that's not how grandpa did it. Well, okay, well, their grandpa didn't do it that way either. But for what it's worth, grandpa didn't have a order tracking software or a flatbed plotter or a online design or a design software on a computer either. Right? He had punch write letters or whatever. So,
and don't get me wrong, nostalgia is cool, and it's
yes.
It's comforting to hang on to nostalgia, but nostalgia prevents you from advancing.
Yes, but I also feel like I come from this line of thought that it is important to know the old way, because you don't understand how the new way can best help you if you only know the new way. Like, why was the new way created, right? Somebody was having a problem with something and they said, I've got to find another easier way to do this. If all you know is the way, since this thing has been easier, but not the hardship, you don't know the best way that new thing can serve you. And there's something to be said about having to deal with it somewhat in the difficult manner.
Yeah, there's a reason we sandblast carve our letters.
Yeah.
As opposed to chiseling them.
Well, man, it sure is nice to cut that information out on that flatbed plotter instead of, I don't know, getting the fire stoked up and throwing the rubber ingot into the pot and pouring it on and making sure it's nice and level. Yeah, I mean, so yeah.
Cool way to serve the Lord, man.
Yeah. It's, God bless some of the technology we have, because, but even me, my business wouldn't exist had it not been for the internet. I mean, if we started with a website, and I get it, but to sit there and go, well, you can't, you got to do things the old way. Well, I like doing things the old way, and I like the ability to do things the old way, but I also want to know the new way. I want to know. I'm kind of this. I'm almost like this monument nerd. I want to know all the details, and I don't know all the details, but
that one picture that I think it was Dave Pace posted it on Monument Builders, showing those guys setting that looked like a 5 foot wide die.
Yeah.
They were skidboarding it off the side of the truck.
For all we know, that could have been actually Dave.
Yeah. But, I mean,
it's like 150 years old.
That way back then, it worked. And it would still work today. But you know what else is cool? A hydraulic crane.
Well, exactly. I mean, so I sent you pictures and I posted videos on Facebook of my new trailer that came in a week ago. And man, that thing was awesome. So my new setting trailer came in, and I played with it and shifted it up and down and moved it all over the place and all that. And that's great. You know what else is great is whenever I can still dolly a stone into the cemetery because they've got a locked gate and I can't get my trailer through. And so you know what we do? We lift that stone up over the fence, set it down on the dolly, and drag that thing across the wet cemetery. Been there, done that. It ain't fun, but I can do it.
Yep. Yeah, we've been in that situation too.
When I started originally, I just had that set like a regular like lawn trailer, landscaping trailer, and that's how I hauled my stuff around on my half-ton truck. And then when I got my crane and would come across cemeteries with gates, and that was great. Everybody was like, "Oh, that's going to stop you." Nope. I'd lift my dolly up over the fence, and I'd lift my stone up over the fence, and I'd drag it to where it needed to be. I'd even, to that point, if it didn't have a dirt mound inside the fence, I would strap my wheelbarrow up to the crane and lift it up and put it back on the truck.
Yeah, I've done that too. And it's all great until the wheelbarrow slips out of the straps.
Yes. Yeah. And then I like I'm a little bougie on my wheelbarrow. I have the 2-wheeled wheelbarrow, not the single wheel.
I think if you're still running a single wheelbarrow, like
can you just point, if you're still running a single wheeled wheelbarrow, can you please point on the doll where the man hurt you?
We're point on the wheelbarrow where it hurt you.
Like,
you can just be trucking along through the cemetery thinking, "Oh, this is a good day." Boom, fall over.
What kind of weird masochist are you if it's that you're still running that wheelbarrow that you've loaded up with 500 pounds of soil and you're trying to push that thing across a wet cemetery?
It's funny that here we are on the subject of wheelbarrows, but my wheelbarrow evolution here, of course, whenever I started out with the single wheel with a pneumatic tire, and finally got rid of that. Then went to my 2-wheel, still had pneumatic tires. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter how much fix-a-flat you put in them, they're never going to stay up. So I'd carry a bicycle pump with me, and I'd have to pump the air up in my tires on my wheelbarrow. And then one day, just walking through Lowe's, Home Depot, whatever, I'm like, why have I not bought a set of these solid core tires yet?
Oh man, you get that. You know where you buy that stuff at? You get that stuff at Harbor Freight.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, we've actually got a new store come in town. Murdoch's. You heard of Murdoch's?
Have not.
Apparently, it is like this weird amalgamation of Tractor Supply meets Harbor Freight meets Cavender's meets Academy. Yeah, it meets Sears. It is a weird deal with all kinds of different stuff in there, and I'm like, I'm about it.
These are a few of my favorite things,
So, no, I mean, you've got to know the old way of doing things. You've got to know how to, because what if it's when that stuff fails that, and you don't have the ability to do it, that you need to be able to do it. And so that's why I say there's the reason for there being, I say there's more than one way to skin the cat, is you don't know what situation you're going to run into where you need to know it. Mm-hmm. Right. And you can be as diehard single process as you want to be until you need to be doing something double process, and vice versa. Mm-hmm.
Be a student of your craft. Always be learning.
Yeah. Well, again, it was one of my favorite Michelangelo quotes when he was like 87. I'm still learning.
Oh.
What?
You asked for your favorite Michelangelo quote, and I said "Cowabunga."
Cowabunga. Yeah, he said it at the age of 87, and he was working on St. Peter's Basilica, and I mean, 87 years old, still working, and
he could run for president.
Well, he probably would have been better than at least half the options. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm not going to politically say where I am, but I am going to say that yesterday we had 2 candidates at the border, and one of them was a moron.
That is a factual statement.
Mm-hmm. And if you can't figure out which one was the moron, you need to look at the substance of the conversations. We got way off track on that, and I don't care. So, hey, and we may have talked about this because I don't remember if we talked about this before we started recording or not. At the convention, and I just, if you didn't notice, I just tailed off of our skin a cat in multiple directions kind of thing. Lot of hype about our little show here.
That's good to hear. Did you ask the people that did comment on the podcast? For one, thank you for listening. 2, why did you hate the cremation episode so bad?
We haven't posted this one, and we probably already have more listeners than were on that one.
Right.
Why did that one hit so hard?
Oh man. That one, I mean, it was like a deflated basketball. It hit the ground. It did not come back up.
No.
Like you look at the chart of all our stats, and it's just like bam, 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 and then all the way back up.
I mean, it is still the lowest listened to. Well, no, it is not. The ones still from recently, but it had more time to get.
Yeah, it's still trending up.
But no, a lot of good positive feedback on the show, and probably because we talk about other things, and probably because we can't stay on topic, like talking about skinning cat multiple ways.
Skinning a squirrel.
Yeah. Well, that's actually more that probably would fit better for northern Louisiana and Arkansas. So, like, if you're in those areas, or Missouri for that matter, I guess, and most of Kentucky and Tennessee, use this. Change it from skinning a cat. If you live in a city where you have Chinese restaurants, the skinning a cat may make more sense. No, is that inappropriate?
Where I am from, we had a Chinese restaurant open up there, and in the neighborhood it opened up, there were stray cats everywhere. After it opened, no stray cats. Not saying that they were serving cat, but I mean, I feel like something happened.
But you're not saying you didn't chew on one either.
There's a high probability.
The General Tso's chicken.
General Tso's kitty.
Yeah. So, no, look, we have a good time with all this. We have a real good deal, a lot of fun doing this, and I enjoy doing it. I still enjoy having these conversations and talking about multiple ways of doing stuff, and all these different topics. And this has been fun, and I continue to do it for sure. We'll continue to talk about some of those people that have helped us, and the stuff that's coming up that hopefully help everybody else out too.
And we're approaching our 1 year.
1 year. Will we take a break? I have no idea. I mean, who knows? We're right on top of it. So that would mean this one would probably be the last one of what will be in a year. Unless you see us recording another one inside of 10 days.
We have the technology.
It's the $1 million man. We don't have the budget for that.
We have a budget.
I had somebody buy me drinks.
Oh, true.
And I mean, we do have some sponsors. We've got Anchor, and we've got MonuCon. We got to talk about MonuCon. They've got a pretty good show coming up too. There's a lot of excitement people talking about that one. Actually, it is organic. Of course, I'm going. You're going.
Yes, sir.
And that's going to be a good time. We may record there. It's going to really depend. What would be funny is, can we record at a craps table? We might get kicked out if we try to do that. I don't think
you can use electronic devices at the craps table.
Probably not. What about in bingo?
You want to get cussed out by an old blue hair?
I don't know why not. Last time I was over there, I was playing 21 and got cussed out by a Yankees fan.
No, hey, like I said, you want to get cussed out by blue hair? I own a monument company.
Well, that is absolutely true. Have you seen an increase in frustrated customers due to time frames right now?
Yes.
I don't know what it is, but it is insane. We had one today, as a matter of fact. Gentleman came in, and this isn't even a crazy time frame. Gentleman comes in, and he has ordered a niche door engraving. And when I say he ordered a niche door engraving, I mean he was in 2 weeks ago, and we drew it up, gave him all the paperwork and everything. Well, why isn't it done today? Is what we were asked. Well, sir, you haven't signed anything or paid for it. Well, I didn't know that I had to do that. You didn't know you had to pay for it? Or you didn't know you had to sign anything?
Yep.
I didn't know.
Yeah, we've got a pretty similar one. A week ago, somebody left a fabulous 1-star review for me. Yeah.
Well, look,
it was a piece of gray, of course, which gray timelines have been shot to pieces as of recent, and
yeah. I do hear it's going to get better. I will say, let's go ahead and say this. I do hear, and this isn't that it is better right now, but it sounds like if you talk to multiple people, and of course these are suppliers, but if you talk to people who are being genuine about it, it sounds like we will see improvements rather sooner than we think. But that's got to be seen. I'm still not changing my turnaround times until I see it. So, proofs in the pudding kind of thing.
Right. And it's one of those that you can't change it until things plane out. Like, right. For one, just to cover yourself, just pure and plain and simple. Now, but This one was one, like, I'll say, it did take a while for this gray piece to come in. And we had to let them know that it was going to be a good bit of time, and that was fine. But of course, they never approved a design because they were wanting to get us an image that they wanted engraved on it. We got the image 2 days before we shut down for our Christmas break. And then we set it a week and a half ago. And they went on there and just eviscerated us. Talking about how terrible, how long it took.
Well, and that's fine, but you understand what things actually are. Like this is the same kind of thing. That's a good turnaround time if you got it turned around that fast. I can't do that right now. I've got so much stuff sitting in front of me that I'm lucky. Right while we're saying 8 to 10 weeks, I don't know if I'm 8 to 10 weeks right now. I think I may be longer. So this guy calls us to do this niche door engraving, and he, when he's sitting there asking us, is it done yet? We're like, well, no, you hadn't signed all this paperwork. But the big problem is that not only has he not signed the paperwork, but then he's going, well, now that I've signed it, when's it going to be done? I'm like, sir, we're 8 weeks out. And I tell you what, I was flabbergasted when he goes, well, I've got money. I'm like, well, that's cute. I've got money too. What does that have to do with the price of tea in China?
Well, welcome to the front of the line, bucko.
Well, I mean, sure, I can do that, but I don't think I'm ever going to make him happy with that. With the way his attitude was, it's always going to be something. And I've got other people that, while that might be good, but I've got so many people right now going, where's my stuff? Where's my stuff? I've got people, we've got stones that have landed. They've been waiting a year and they've already paid for everything. I'm not putting them in front of them. So I know that, like, normally I would say, sure, we can do that. But right now I'm so backed up. I can't look forward enough to go, yeah, sure, I'll put you in front of this. It's just not going to happen. So, and actually with this niche door engraving, it's a big enough door that I've got to go up there and do the engraving on site. And it's 40 minutes away.
That adds a wrinkle.
Right. So you're just going to have to wait. And, I know he's not going to like that, but what about the other family that called and they said, where's my stone? Well, sorry, but you have not made your final payment. I cannot put it in line to sandblast until you've made your final payment. And, well, I've made my final payment. Is it done yet?
I'll tell you one thing. We've started to do a few of them, and it seems to have helped some of the situation, is we've started ordering some of those temporary markers from TriGuard.
So we are doing something similar. I haven't ordered the ones from TriGuard. We have, you may have seen, I asked for 12 by 12 tiles or something like that on the Facebook group.
I've done that too.
So we are laser etching, and I bought, if you need some, let me know. I have the metal stands, the metal for 6 by 12 markers, the metal. Here, hold on, play that hold music, and I'll go grab one and show it to you. That was horrible hold music, by the way. Metal stand.
Oh, nice.
Sides of 6 by 12. Bought it on Alibaba. I bought 600 of them or something like that.
I'm doing that.
Well, come get some. I'm not going to use them all.
How many you got?
I told you I bought about 600 of them.
Oh. Yeah,
so,
I'm doing that.
And it's for customers that spend, I don't know, 5,000 plus, I'll give it to them.
No, yeah.
Customers that I think are going to be a pain in the rear, we'll give it to them.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, customer wants one, I'll sell it to them for the same price they can buy it online. And we will design it to match the details of their monument that they've bought from us. So it's not just going to be a plug and play thing.
I like that.
We've already got it. We've already got it all designed out. All I've got to do is make it fit on the 6 by 12 tile, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and then laser it out. So, it's not rocket surgery. Just trying to make as many people happy as I can.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
that's an excellent idea. I'll get with you on getting some of those.
Yeah, well, it's easy enough. I'll get them to you somehow, but I won't go through enough of them, but I had to order that many to justify the cost of the shipping and all that, and to get the price down. So I figure I'll go through them at some point, but this is a great way to help those families out.
Definitely.
So, but I think that's all for now. I mean, I don't know what you got going on. Anything else after that? You know,
no, that's about it. Now
baseball started up.
We are finally in the greatest season in the world.
It is, and look, Astros are doing okay. They're not doing phenomenal, but it's still early. You know, Astros are and it's still preseason, so it's not that big a deal.
Yeah, preseason games. Rangers have been doing all right in the spring training games, but they don't matter because you're not even playing all your starters, and whenever you do, you're only seeing an inning to 2 innings of work out of them.
Yeah,
so it's given the guys that are the high A, double A, triple A guys a chance to prove themselves, trying to make the club.
Yep. So we're still way early on that. However, my Aggies are wrecking shop.
I'm seeing that.
I'm a little apprehensive to sit there and say something about it. I'm not superstitious, but I'm a little stitious. So I'm a little afraid that just mentioning it speaks that into existence and then becomes a thing.
I am probably one of the worst people to watch a baseball game with, especially one that matters. Especially like whenever the World Series was going on. One, I did not sit down the entire time through it. And two, like, if I stand in this part of the room, is it any better? Or
I will change clothes. I will flat change clothes.
How many times have I touched my cap? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's yeah. I'm rough when it comes to some of that stuff. It's hey, I wore this shirt last time they were doing really well.
Mm-hmm.
It's but no, those guys are rocking it right now. We're going into a tournament, so they're still one of 4 undefeated teams left in the country, and they play against one of them this weekend in the tournament. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully, they can hold on and stick to it. But at some point in time, there's going to be a game lost. You're not going to go undefeated in baseball. It's just not a thing.
No,
but
no,
man, those guys.
Unfortunately, baseball is a game that is built on heartbreak.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So but proud of our guys. They're and not only are they playing well, it looks like they're having fun. So that best baseball is when you're having fun anyway.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, whenever you have a cohesive group that you can tell when they're in the dugout, out on the field, that they're having fun with it. That's when it is at its peak enjoyable to watch.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, but that's all that's going on around here. Trying to get rocks out. I got hard rocks in a couple weeks, so I came back from MBNA to turn around, spend a few weeks here, and then head back out to Georgia. So coast to coast inside of a month.
Yep. Yeah, baseball's what's keeping me away from hard rocks. My son has a baseball tournament that weekend.
Yeah, well, it is what it is.
Oh yeah.
So, but I'm excited. It'll be fun to be back out there, carving rocks, breaking stuff, and hopefully getting a breath of fresh air again for a minute, because I know I have been stressed and worked and trying to keep my head above water. So I'm excited to see those guys again.
Good deal.
But all right. Well, until next time, I think we'll sign out and move on to bigger and better things. And I guess maybe in 2 weeks we'll be back at it.
Sounds good to me.
All right.
Until next time. Later.